Okay, welcome back to our class. Now, in this one, we're going to write a program that will help us to cover the control structures. We shall start with the decision structures, the if and else if, okay? So now I think I need first of all to save my file as control structures like that. So we're good to go. Now, so here we can start our C program, int main function. Okay, now in this program, I want us to write a simple program that will ask our users for two numbers and then display the largest number. So in this case, first of all, so the first thing after the main function is to ask yourself, how many variables do you need? So in this case, we are going to have two numbers. If we're going to have two numbers, we can decide that both of them will be integers, but programming is freedom, or depending on the question, you can use double float, okay? So then from here, after having the two numbers, now the next thing, you first of all, you need to visualize the program in your mind. Now you must decide, are you going to provide the number or the user is going to provide the number? So in this case, the user will provide the number, so we shall ask them to provide the number. Hi, enter first num, enter first num here, and then semicolon. Then I want it to be output. I would like it to display hi, enter first number. We type on the same line. Then we must store the number. After entering the number, the next thing is for us to store. Now, if it is an integer, we can use either %d or I for integer. Then comma, then the address operator. We have the address operator, num1 like that. Then the semicolon, okay? And then in programming, especially practical, when you realize that the next line is just going to be a sort of repetition, you can copy paste as long as it's your own work and edit. Enter second num2 hapa, and then here it will be 2. So you have 2. So at this point we shall have the two numbers. Now having the two numbers, the next thing now to bother us will now be to perform. It will be now for us to make a decision. So we can make a decision that if num1 is greater than num2, if num1 is greater than num2, so be keen on the syntax. If num1 is greater than num2, now do what? In this case, just display. So we are not doing a lot, we'll just display. Now in this case, you can decide to output the particular number, or just say num2 is the largest, or you can extract that particular number and say that it is the largest, okay? So in this case, for a beginner, I will just say number 1 is the largest, okay, for a beginner. But as we go on, you can be able to extract that particular number. Let's say you have 12 and 5, so you can be able to just say 12 is the largest number. But for a beginner, I want to keep it easy and simply just say num2, number 1 is the largest, okay? So I'm not complicating it. Now the next thing now to do, we shall make another comparison. So we shall use else if. Now in this case, else if num2 is greater than num1, so else if num2 is greater than num1, then you open the curly brace. Then in this case, it will be printf num2 is the largest. So this is the case where now num2 is the largest, and you just say number 2 is the largest, okay? So I've tried to make the program easier, but as you go on, you can be able to extract that particular number and say, let's say you had 12 and 35. So as we go on, you can be able to extract and say 35 is the largest. But for a beginner, let's keep things easy. Now from here, you also now, for some people, they only have if else, but for me, I also cover the instance where, I also cover the scenario where both numbers are equal, okay? So in this case, you also need to have the scenarios where, now if the numbers, the comparison does not fit the first two, then we assume that automatically both numbers are equal, okay? Both numbers are equal, then \n, like that. Then we return 0, then our program should be able to run. So I'll scroll through a bit slowly so that you can internalize, so that you can have a good view of the program. Oh, here I had forgotten to close scanf. It must be closed, so just begin on those minor errors, okay? like that. Okay, so that is the program. I'll scroll it, then I can reduce magnification a bit so that most text fits on the screen. So this one, it covers this. No, I want to run it first, then before we can come to the program again. So I enter number 1, let's say 56. Enter number 2, let's say 78. Number 2 is the largest, so the program is working. Oh, here, now here on the first one, I can decide to remove the new line because we don't really need the new line on this one. During entry, we can just have and type it on the same line. So that is say enter first number, let's say 6. Enter second number 2, it says number 1 is the largest. Then it ends. Then we can run it. And now this time I can put 4 and 4. Then it says both numbers are equal. So now in my program, I've tried to make it realistic because you can have the scenario where the users enter the first number as the largest. You can also have a scenario where the user enters the second number as the largest. But since you don't have total control of what the user will do, the user can decide to give you both numbers as equal numbers. Okay, so this is why I have else. So if the two numbers do not fit here, where we do not have a scenario where number 1 is the largest, we don't have a scenario where number 2 is the largest, then by assumption is that both numbers are equal. Okay, so we can stop there for now. I can reduce magnification a bit so that most of the program fits on the screen. So that is where now both can be able to see that the program is fitting on the screen. This is okay, so you can see that it is able to fit on the screen. So you have to be keen on that. Now I want to modify the program so that now instead of just saying number 1 is the largest, number 2 is the largest, I want it to extract that number, okay, and say that particular number. So in this case, I can modify so that it will just extract that number. For it to extract that number, I'll have to do a %d, then num1. So it will have to say so it will have to say num1 is the largest, so that it extracts that number. So I'm modifying the program so that now it extracts that number. So I want to modify here so that we also extract that number. This is largest and not largest. Typo. Largest, and then we can put here \n, and then it will extract that particular number. So I'm modifying my program so that it now extracts that particular number. Okay, so that then here I would like it now to say that %d and %d are equal, so that now in this case it will just extract the actual numbers are equal, and then here I can have the first %d, the second %d, and then I would have made my program to run. So I have modified the program so that it extracts the number. Let me build and run. Oh, I've created an error where I have, here, it's not supposed to be here. I've seen the error. Okay, so I build and run. So let's say 23 and 12. It will say 23 is the largest. Okay, so it's working. Then I can run it again. Now this time I can put 45 and 87. It should say 87 is the largest. And now I can now do it again. Now this time I can put 45. It should say 45 and 45 are equal. So the program is running. Okay, so I have modified it so that it can extract, but only do this one after being confident that you can do the first one. Okay, so here I'm telling it output an integer from. Output an integer, then say the largest from num1. Output an integer from num2 and say is the largest. Here I'm saying output this integer and this integer, start with the integer from num1 and the integer from num2 and say is the largest. Okay, so we can scroll down slowly for you to have a good look. You can pause on your side in case my scrolling is fast. Is here. Okay, so I want to believe you have had a good look at the program. Now that you have had a good look at the program, I think we can pause there for now. We can pause there for now. Thank you. See you in the next class.